Hi guys, welcome back to All Ruby, where I talk just anything that's on my mind. I'm just trying to classify what I might be talking about in this channel, but I don't know that I can. We've got a sleeping baby here. We're on our first camping trip overnighter with our new tent. I have a sleeping baby, but he's just woken up. So I was going to have a chat to you guys about what's been going on and how I'm feeling about it, but baby is waking up and husband is being a bit noisy, so I'll be back. Hi.
Mwah.
Hey baby. Good morning. We are camping. Camping for the first time in our new rooftop tent. I have to admit that I wasn't super stoked on camping necessarily for my first choice. But there's been this crazy pandemic outbreak. Shh. I'll go somewhere else.
Jet boiled.
Coffee. Camp coffee.
Camp coffee.
Because it's cold. It was very cold last night. It's autumn here. And you can see it in the background now. And yeah, we were a bit cold. And the baby cried a lot. She hasn't woken up and cried during the night in a long time. So that was interesting. Anyway, all worth it to be here, isn't it, Eli? I hope the wind isn't too crap to hear me. I'm not naked. I'm in my bathers. But from now on, it will probably look like I'm naked. And I just wanted to document some of my thoughts about the last week, really, in Sydney and in my head, because I am struggling to understand them. And I realise that usually I'm very vocal on social media about everything that I'm going through in a very personal way, and I try to be really honest. So, a bit of context, and the whole world knows, so I don't really need to contextualise it, but since December, there's been this flu virus outbreak in China, and, you know, it felt distant to me. It felt far away, and like we didn't have to worry about it. And then it started spreading around the world, and the baby is up. I don't know if you can see it. She's up on the tray, holding herself up. And it felt, far away, and like something we didn't need to worry about. I think that the news and the way that it was talked about really led us in another country astray, I think. I think it has done a disservice to everybody, which is that the line of everybody is, it's only killing old people. Old people and people with compromised immune systems. So there's this feeling, and especially where we live. Yeah, we live in a suburb where there's a lot of young people and a lot of rich people. And so at least the people that I've been surrounded by, and healthy. Everybody exercises a lot, eats really good food. And so there's this feeling like, I'm healthy and young, so it doesn't matter about me. And to begin with, we were looking at the numbers going, well, the numbers aren't much worse than, they're not even vaguely on the same level as the amount of people who die from just the regular flu every year. So in our household, we were kind of not super worried about it and just keeping tabs on it, but like, hey, okay, seems like maybe the media is overhyping it a bit or something. Then the strangest thing happened last Saturday. So Saturday again. So Saturday, I can't remember what the date was, but I'll put it up. And it was a cold, rainy day in Sydney. It was bizarre. We'd had pizza the night before, takeout pizza, and Eli and my mother-in-law Jill were like out, completely cold, white, like sweaty. I wasn't sure if they had a fever, but I was hoping it was just food poisoning because they said their stomachs were hurting if they could talk. But basically, they spent a whole day in bed, literally not moving at all. And I had been meaning to do homework because I'm at uni, and I had a huge day of homework that I needed to do. And I was stuck holding the baby on a day when I was meant to be doing something else in this. And I woke up and the house was like blowing. And for some reason, all the windows had been left open the night before, and So there's this gale force, and it just was very surreal. And I found myself sitting in the nursing chair for most of the day, just like reading the news, which I have been avoiding because the news has been hyping it all up to be really scaremongery and like, oh, people dying, la, la, la. And the numbers seemed so small and it seemed so far away that I've just been like kind of the only way that I could get on with, being at school and managing that, being a new mum and not being with my baby was to like not tune into this news. Anyway, so I tuned in on Saturday and got myself really worked up, and something did feel like it had really hit home in Australia. It felt like people were starting to get spooked over here, and maybe it was just because I was reading it for the first time, but like a day or two before that, the World Health Organization had declared it a pandemic, which means it's worldwide, and I'll put the definition of pandemic here because I had to Google it as well. Like, what exactly does that mean? So it did feel like the people who we were taking our advice from, i.e. not the news, but the World Health Organization, had really changed their tune as to the absolute severity of what was going on. So I'm stuck in this house freaking out, and there's people talking about lockdowns and all these things, and I'm kind of going, I don't know how to handle all this. There'd been emails from my university the week before saying, if you want to work from home, please do. You don't feel like you have to come in. And I was like, oh, that's silly. Like, of course we're going to keep coming to school. And then on Sunday we just decided, no, even if it's just old people and people with compromised immune systems dying, they're people we love, they're in our family, they're everywhere, and we want to support them and keep them safe as well. So we took a bit of a party line of like, we're not doing it for us, we're doing it for the people in our lives who we care about and for the greater community. And I have been feeling really embarrassed about that decision, like as if we were overreacting, which has been really weird. So, yeah, we kind of took this drastic stance, and I think half the people in my master's year were still going into school. So Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday of this week, I decided to stay home, and we thought we were going to self-isolate, and then we went for a walk in the evening. There wasn't very many people on the boardwalk, and I put it on social media and quickly got messages saying, you're not self-isolating, you're social distancing. I think that kind of didn't upset me, but I was kind of, for the first time on my social media journey, I've really felt like the decisions I'm making are decisions that everybody's trying to make, and so I don't want to, I never want to tell anybody how to do anything. When I like sharing my videos about being with Scout and her development and stuff, it's always about my experience, or that's what I aim for anyway. And suddenly here I am feeling like, shit, I think everybody should be inside, like as much as possible, and standing away from each other and not having contact as much as possible. And so I didn't want to put that on social media because, it didn't feel like everybody in Australia was really taking it seriously yet. So I've just been angsting about that a lot this last week. If I dashed out to go to school to get some books from the library, and I saw, one or two people on that whole journey. So I figured that's kind of, it's not necessarily 100% safe, but it's like, that's a good hedging of my bets. And I drove out, and it was just like everybody in Bondi was just like chilling, getting on with their daily life. And then it was the afternoon, everybody's gathering at restaurants and drinking martinis and their Aperol spritz and just like acting like there was nothing going on in the world. And it was starting to freak me out. And I suppose I want to do a video because I'm loving that on social media everybody's banding together and trying to be super supportive and positive, and kind of, we can get through this, and we've just got to care about our communities. I really genuinely like that, and I have to say, I think I've had more online conversations with people and video chats with people in the last 2 days than I have ever. So that's really great. And although we're meant to be staying away from people, I feel like there is going to be a huge space for creativity and for connection and all these amazing things. And I'm really excited about that. But I suppose I want to talk about what has been my genuine fears and anxieties, and whether and how they kind of balloon and then shrink again. Like sometimes I'll be just fine, and then suddenly it's like it crescendos in my head, and I'm completely overwhelmed with what's going to happen to the economy, what's going to happen. And I know that people go, the economy is not that important. It is, like as compared to health, and it's not. So yes, we need to be staying indoors. Yes, we need to take every precaution possible. But I am terrified about what happens on the other side. I was a small business owner, and if we still had our business right now, we would just, I wouldn't be able to get through the days. I would be so vomitously fearful about my livelihood and losing everything to the bank and my house and everything. People stand to lose everything. They also stand to lose their life if they get sick. So it's, and then you do read about younger people dying, and I have heard they have compromised immune systems, but I've also heard about people not dying but having scar tissue and having serious problems. There are doctors kind of saying that you're going to live with a lot of pain and suffering if you, not necessarily if you get it, but that is a possibility. So it is something to be taken seriously. So I just want to say I think it's okay to go on that roller coaster of fear, anxiety, and then calm, collected, because I'm not hearing that. And I think there's a lot of mental health out there that's going to be suffering. Mine is suffering. I just want to be really honest about that, because if you're feeling alone and like you're the only one who's scared, you're not. I'm here, and I'd be happy to talk to you about it, because what I keep hearing from people is, we've just got to keep calm and carry on. I've been thinking about that phrase, and I believe it's from World War II, and I think that would have been appropriate, even in a world war, in a war, because the enemy is somewhere else. But actually the enemy is people who are sick, and we need to take care of our community. So it's I don't think it's keep calm and carry on. I think it's keep calm and do the best you can to stay inside and social distance as much as you can when you can. If you've got a job, I'm sure you're terrified as to what to do if you work in retail. It would be very hard to justify going to work every day, but you also don't want to lose your job. I am not discounting all of the plethora of emotion, situations that people are in. When you can stay inside, or go camping where there's nobody else. If you can stand further away. Now, that is the one that I'm getting really anxious about. So there were some people at the campsite when we came here last night. At different times, people came over and talked to us, and they were standing maybe a metre away, but it was just this feeling of please stand further away. But I'm a very people person, and that seems really rude to me, and I don't know how to say that. And so I just want to say that in this video, that I think that there's this confronting thing that we're dealing with of how do I say that without sounding rude to someone who I don't know? And that's an anxiety around the social stuff, but also not wanting to get sick or become a carrier and pass it on. I'm putting it out there because I think these are things we're going to have to start figuring out, because the next few weeks / months / we have no idea. They're going to be really fun. And I'm going to start a conversation, an honest one, about the joys and things that we can find. I think there's going to be so much creativity that blossoms over this period. I think it's going to be awesome. There's going to be stories. People are stuck in their homes. They're going to be making things. So I'm really excited on that level, and I'm really excited for the community building that people are really focusing on. But I have fear. I have moments where I'm absolutely terrified. I'm terrified that I'm going to lose my parents to this. I'm terrified of losing anybody to it. Or I'm terrified about community not coming together fast enough and doing the social distancing. I'm really embarrassed. I live in Bondi, and the beach got closed down yesterday after Friday, when there were thousands of people on the beach because it was a holiday. I know we're Australian and we swim and everything, but just don't go. There's no point laying blame. And I read something from Sarah Wilson, who I really admire, and she posted an article about the Bondi closure, and she said, can we stop the blaming? Can we stop finger pointing? And can we just draw a line in the sand and say, from now on, we have to work hard as a community. We are going to social distance and social isolate. And I really appreciated that sentiment, because something that is also on my mind that's been really upsetting emotionally for me is all this finger pointing and blaming that's going on, where people, it's the fear is too much, and so they kind of, people are doing this, people are doing that. It's no, we are all kind of doing that. Where did you get your groceries? How are you doing different bits and pieces? So I got too cold. I have to walk out of the shade. I don't know if you can still see me, but I got too cold. Yeah, the finger pointing I found really upsetting because it's making the enemy each other. It's not. The enemy is the virus. And my mum said just the other day, I think that we should call it spatial distancing, not social distancing, because social means that we don't like it, the other people. We don't want to be near them, but it's just space. We just need more space from other people. So let's get a gun for spatial distancing, not social distancing. Yeah, I just really appreciated Sarah Wilson's take on that to just Australia. Can we just draw a line in the sand? Can we just say this is serious now? We all agree this is serious now. And don't worry about what happened in the past. So I second that. And can we please stick together to say, like, to take care of our community, to take care of our elders, to take care of anybody with a compromised immune system, and actually, guys, young people as well, because young people are not invincible. We have no idea what this virus is going to do. But yeah, I just wanted to start the chat about fears and anxieties because I think they're there. Keep calm when you can and acknowledge when you're having a hard day. Reach out for help. Message me, I don't know, message a friend. Good luck. Stay safe. I forgot to add a bit. Now we've got the baby. In terms of that timeline, from that Saturday, I did school from home Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and by Wednesday afternoon, they'd announced that the school would close for 10 days completely while they figured out their response and how to get us all online. So at the same time as feeling quite crazy and totally that's what's been hurting my mental health, is that I go from feeling completely convinced that this is really, really serious and we've got to all stay indoors immediately, and I don't know what that means for the economy. I don't know what that means for me being at school. I don't know anything like that. To feeling like I'm crazy, I'm totally overreacting because I jump in my car and see everybody just living life like there's nothing going on. So yeah, that roller coaster of feeling all those feelings, and every day has just felt so long. The last 7 days have felt like the longest 7 days I've had in a very, very long time. So I'll keep talking to that, but yeah, that was the timeline. By Wednesday, my school had shut, and so my first question was, can you hurt yourself?
Not unless you whack your knuckle on a rock or something. There you go.
Should I be pushing harder?
Yeah, and get it right in there in these twigs.
I'm worried about punching your structure over.
That's right.
Can you throw a bigger flint, spark?
Yeah. If you push harder, you'll throw bigger flints.
It's you can see it charring it, but it's not doing anything.
Alright.
Is it about trying to get it to heat up over time, or are you trying to
No,
get
you're
one
trying to
spark?
get one spark in there to go. Get that in there. Oh, Bobby. You can fix it in post. I'll do it. Just telling Ruby that when you're in cadets and scouts and all that kind of stuff, they always do this thing, or they do in Canada anyway, where if there's nothing to do, or every time you leave a site, you pack everything up, and then you get everybody that you're with, everybody in your squad or whatever, and you do a sweep, as big a sweep as you can manage, and you pick up every tiny little piece of rubbish you can find, whether it's yours or not or whatever. And the idea is you always want to leave a place back to nature before you leave, so it's like you were never there, or nobody was ever there. Beer bottle lids. Not mine. Get them out of here.
It's little putts. Burping.